You sit at home, you watch this, what's the lighting, how do you set this up? It's just the scope and the spectacle and that space between you and the screen and that size.
Watching a movie on a 40 or 60 foot screen versus a 40 or 60 inch screen is a big experience. And I think the actors, I'm sure there's money, the financial part of it's there, but they know it's going to be on TV or streamed anyway. And another big problem they've had with that is the piracy of these movies now. We used to get a report weekly of people that got busted for being in a theater with a camera filming a movie to put it online as a pirated copy of the movie. Yeah. And of course they were horrible copies. Now if they stream it into your house digitally, you can go online the day a movie opens and buy a $1 copy of that movie, possibly even before it opens. So that has become another big problem. And then, actors have their egos, I guess. They want to. You've always been more popular as a movie theater than typically a TV.
I do want to point something out, though, that this isn't the first time that the film industry and theaters faced this. With the advent of television, there was a similar sort of scramble from the studios to try to make bigger screens, better sound, anything that they could think of to enhance the theater experience, as opposed to people turning on their TVs. So this is kind of like round two for the theaters, but we're kind of approaching a round three right now. Now it's Amazon Studios and Netflix is a producing entity now. So that there are things that are never going to go to the theater. It's not even a choice, it's a streaming experience. That's not going to change. That's here for keeps.
It's cool to listen to music by yourself in your headphones as you watch, but being at a show is a completely different experience. You feel it with your body. And the cinema's like that too. It's a dark cathedral, essentially, where cinema takes the center stage. It's dark. You don't just leave or look away. You just sit there and take it in and hear the amazing sound and see this huge image, and you get to live inside of it for a bit. We don't get that on our computers or on our phones. It's not the same. Not to say it isn't good or something. It's fine too. It's just a different type of experience. Especially something like a block of comedies. If you're there in the theater with just a few people, it's not the same as when the theater is full and everybody is laughing together, or grossed out together or something, or you kind of get to experience things with people, which is a lot different than, being at home on your computer thinking should I laugh or not, or I don't need to laugh out loud. I don't know.
I watched a couple of Netflix comedians, and that's super fun to watch them at home. But I hardly ever laugh out loud, and my kids are always like, "Wait, don't you think that's funny?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I think it's funny." But I went to see one of my favorite comedians live in Columbus at the Arena just last week. Arena was packed. Everybody was laughing, and I couldn't help but laugh out loud. The fact that the arena is packed, the fact that people want to have that shared experience. Now, granted, this is a big name comedian, but I think that shows that we're going to return to face-to-face experiences. We really just want that. Concerts are selling well, live concerts. And why is that? It's because people want that. They really do. They're hungry for that engagement. So as soon as people feel safe doing that, it'll be easier.
Having the communal experience is incredibly important. I think that I was just talking to someone about streaming and why is that better or worse or good, and I was just it doesn't matter. It's two different things. We're doing two different things.
Just think about the last time you went to see something with just incredible scenery on a huge screen, and maybe you had 3D glasses on and the theater was filled, and you know what it is? It's because the way our neurons work So our brain has these part of the neurons in our brain, the mirror neurons specifically. They want to replicate what's happening live around us. So when we're with a large group of people and having a shared experience, our mirror neurons start to interact in a way that allows our brain pathways to start to look similar, and that shared experience isn't going to go away.
You certainly lose that connectivity of being with a large group of people and sharing the whole experience. I certainly watch my TV at home and enjoy it, but there's nothing like walking into the theater with the popcorn popping, going in with a group of people to, it's just like going to a concert or a theater or, for a play or whatever. They'll film a play. It's certainly not the same as being there in person, or even watching football or basketball. There's a significant difference. And one of the problems with when we were showing the opera, there were aspects about the opera when we were showing it where during the breaks and the between scenes, they would go behind the stage and show you stuff that you would not see if you were actually there. And that was a big plus, but it still did not translate to being at the Metropolitan Opera.
I know this from like talking to all the 2020 filmmakers, even the 2021 filmmakers. This might have been their first screening. It was like, or live screening. They want to experience what an audience sees. Like they want to go there and see an audience watch the work. That's like part of finishing the piece. When you do things like the streaming thing, I did some streaming music over the pandemic, like some shows that were streamed, and it was like, okay, I'm here in this like room, and then I'm in this like online room, plugging things into that, and then the contents of that online room are like sent to Twitch, and it's like I have no idea, like there's no feedback from that experience. I think with a filmmaker too, it's like they don't have the feedback loop where it's like they go to the theater, they see people watch the work or walk out and hear them talk about it or answer questions right after the screening too. That's part of like knowing how your work operates in the world, and it's hard to gauge that when you're just like pushing it out one directional.
Just movies were made to be seen in a large space.